Hey everyone, have you ever felt like an imposter? Well, today we're going to be talking about imposter syndrome. So what is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome to me is when you feel like you got something you didn't deserve and then you're afraid that you'll let everyone down, everyone will find out you're an imposter, that you weren't who they hired and you didn't have the skills that you said you had, and then you just feel like really insecure. This can be relevant in areas not just within work or computer science, but like within dating, within friendships, and even YouTube. So what's my story? Well, I've pretty much encountered imposter syndrome my whole life. But notably, when I played badminton, I started later, and all the junior national kids were like way better than me, right? So when I hung out with them and played cards and we were having fun, deep down I was kind of scared that, when we start playing, they'll find out that I suck. When it came to work, I definitely worked really hard in order to pass the interviews, but the thing is, passing interviews actually doesn't really say how well you'll do on the job. So I felt like, oh no, like what if they find out that I'm actually not a good worker, right? Even though I think I am. But this is like the most apparent when I was at Tinder. I got in knowing very little iOS, and basically whenever I had help on something, I never took credit for it. And I kept trying to come from the frame that, I'm a newbie, I don't know any iOS, and I'm sorry for troubling you, you know? And one time my mentor jokingly got mad at me, shook me, and was like, why can't you take credit for work you didn't do? So yeah, even though I've had all these internships, I've done all this work, I still feel imposter syndrome. And even now at Lyft, it's like my 4th day now, and everyone there is just like super pro. Like the iOS team is just super duper strong, and I feel like I'm the weakest iOS developer there. And it's like, yes, I do feel like maybe of an imposter, but at the same time, I'm going to tackle it head on, you know? And yeah, so the last example of imposter syndrome in my life is when I was doing YouTube videos, and especially when I first started, I think my first series was like how to get an internship from a Google intern, right? So I felt like with such a clickbaity title, I had to have like good content, and I didn't really know how to make videos yet. Even though I still kind of don't know how to make videos, but I was just like, dang, what if someone watches this really clickbaity video that promises something amazing and they're like super let down by it? But yeah, so those are examples of imposter syndrome that I faced in my life. Let's talk a little bit about possible causes. So one of the first reasons that I mentioned before is you feel like you barely got your job, so you're afraid of losing it, and you're afraid that people find out that, hey, maybe we made a mistake hiring this person. They're like not who we thought they were. Another reason is that when it comes down to it, we as people are just insecure, right? And we're afraid of getting judged by others, and we're also more afraid of like letting other people down. The final cause that I think is before entering a company, we idealize this company and we put everything on this pedestal, and we think that everyone on that pedestal is on a whole nother level. And when we just join the company, we still feel like everyone around us is the people that we admire, and we're not part of them. And obviously this doesn't just pertain in computer science. Let's say within dating, you're dating a really amazing guy or girl, and you're like, oh wow, they know how to cook, they're super smart, they're really pretty, what am I, you know? And you start comparing yourself to other people, you start comparing yourself to them, and you feel like an imposter, and you'll feel like, I have to keep putting on this front, or else they're going to lose interest in me, they're going to get bored. But anyway, going back to computer science, a possible first solution is that you just use this imposter syndrome and this fear and this feeling as motivation to work harder, to prove that you aren't an imposter, you know? Another solution is just realize that companies set a really high bar when they're hiring, and if you've made it already, then you've reached that bar, and that company already acknowledged you, and now they're no longer judging you, at least like not at the beginning, and the company truly wants to help you grow and give you the resources to succeed and to set you up for success. Another solution is sort of like a mindset switch. This is something that my friend told me, and I guess I really resonated with that idea. He said, work out of love, not out of fear, work not to survive but to thrive, and work to help other people on the team and to make impact, not out of fear of losing your job. When you work like this, it's not only the right way to think about things, but it's also more fulfilling. So yeah, the final thing I guess is just, I think you just have to go with it. For a lot of us, it's like jumping into cold water. Once you jump in, you realize, oh, it's fine, you'll fit in, and like sooner or later, you're gonna be just like everyone else, working and collaborating and having a really good time at work. And then when the new hires come, it's now your turn to assure them that, hey, you guys are imposters, welcome to the team. But yeah, so that's like a quick video on imposter syndrome. Is it okay? Like, definitely it's okay. I think everyone goes through this. Even my most experienced and most knowledgeable mentors, they also felt like imposters at the very beginning. I'm currently going through it again, but I feel like I've been through it so many times that I sort of know how to deal with it. And I know that instead of focusing on trying to keep my job, I want to just learn as much iOS as possible and try to bring as much value to the team, because I know they'll be investing a lot in me, so I also want to give that back to them and repay them. So if you want to share any imposter syndrome experiences that you've had, or any ways that you deal with imposter syndrome, please leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.